Hey there folks, I've had quite a few people reach out to me through Instagram and Facebook just asking about all these trail camera videos I was posting up on my mock scrape, asking what I do, kind of scent I use, all that kind of stuff. So I figured I'd share some of my tips, make this video and explain it on here, a little bit easier to do. I use a lure called Buck Yah Deer Lure. It's made here in Alberta. It's a synthetic lure, so you're allowed to use it. It's not real urine, and kind of hesitant on synthetic lures as I've tried them before and not even do a thing. I've used some. You put it up and nothing even looks at it, touches it, so those don't work. I forget what they are, so but yeah, Buck Yah Deer Lure definitely works, and I've been using it for 3 years now, and it's pretty effective now that I've tweaked where I put it, how I use it, and when I put it out. So there's a few spots you would look for. Generally it's going to be between a feeding area and a bedding area. You don't want to just throw it out the edge of a field where deer aren't walking. Put it somewhere where there's no deer trails like that, right? So if you find your deer trails, intersections, or even scrapes that have already been used, that's probably the perfect starting point. What I use is a pine tree. I don't know why. I think it's the canopy that's above it. It keeps all the rain out and doesn't wash the scent away. So 90% of the buck rubs I see on the ground are under a pine tree. So I'll put it under a pine tree. I'll spray the branch, spray the ground, scrape all the ground away, all the leaves, all the sticks, make it look like a buck was actually there. You want to totally convince them that there's another buck in the area, dominant thing, right? So you do that. The time frame I kind of start making my mock scrapes is beginning in November, late October. The reason for that is there's cattle on this couple sections land I hunt, so there's no point in throwing a camera up and all this scent when the cattle are just going to come through and tromp it and do their thing anyways. So generally once those cattle leave, within the week, I'll go out there, put trail cameras up, get all set up, and the whitetails start using it a lot more. I find with the cattle in there, they just kind of skirt around the outside of this property and don't even touch it. There is also 7 glands on a deer. I didn't really know that until you start looking into and reading stuff, and they probably use 4 if not 5 of those on those mock scrapes. I'll explain those in these upcoming videos I have of the deer actually using the scrape itself. So it's pretty neat to see how into it they get. I've never had my cameras on video mode at all on these scrapes. It's always just been pictures and you're like, oh, okay, they use it, they're there, they're gone. You never actually figure out what they're doing until this year I put it on 30-second video mode, and it was pretty cool actually to watch them come in, do their thing. Even had a few small bucks chasing does by it, which is pretty neat watching them do the thing. So anyways, all these next videos I'll kind of explain what the buck's doing, how he's using it, and yeah, hope you like it. So in these next 3 videos here, you'll see the bucks have their heads right up in the trees, they're rubbing. There's 3 glands that they're actually using. The one is a preorbital gland that's just in front of their eye. It does leave scent, but not a whole lot. The next gland is the forehead gland. It's beneath all the hair follicles, similar to your sweat glands. They produce a fatty oil that the bucks can transfer to a rubbed or licking branch, and I think this is probably the most effective one that they're using on these licking branches. And they can tell if it's a dominant deer, not just from that fatty, oily scent, and does will also leave them as well. And the next one is the nasal gland. It's located just inside the edge of the nostril. This gland doesn't actually really have any scent to it, but it helps the bucks determine if there's been a doe there or a buck, or if the doe's in heat or not. That's the gland that they'll use for that one. In this next video here, you can see this buck's pawing at the ground pretty good. This is the interior digital gland that's in their foot. They pull the hooves apart and you will see a small opening between them. This gland produces a cheese-like substance that smells like rancid butter, and literally it stinks. The deer, within every step, it's probably rubbing that on leaves and grass. So if you've ever wondered how, you'll see a doe go by and then a buck within 20-30 minutes just following the exact same trail. That is the gland that they're following. Next in these few videos, you can see the deer are rubbing the back of their focal glands. So this gland does not actually produce any scent. It produces a fatty oil that clings to the tufted long hairs and helps capture urine when the deer are rubbing their legs together and urinating on it. It actually helps create a hotbed of bacterial growth, which then produces the rutting stench that may be unique from deer to deer. So yeah, if you've ever shot a buck in the rut and you're field dressing it and you grab onto those and then smell your hands, you'll know exactly what I mean by that stench. So it's exactly what they're doing here, is urinating on their legs, and it runs down and then falls into the scrapes that they just pulled up.